Good evening and happy Monday. Welcome to the Pitch Strike Chronicles, where fans become family. And we are coming to you on a special evening on Memorial Day. And we want to, first off, give our prayers up to all the veterans that gave the sacrifice for our freedom, which is why we do have this day today. So, with that being said, we were unable to put together a sweep, and we were talking right before we clicked live that might have been one of the sloppiest things that we've seen thus far this year. But it still doesn't take away that we were able to get a series win. And the more you keep stacking those up, the more beneficial the record's going to be coming to our favor as the season goes on. So, Donald, you really, we've been trying to be as patient with Torres as possible. So I want you to give everybody the breakdown of, specific incidences, just overall, he just hasn't had it this year, because there's always had glimpses that he's been able to have plays where he looks like he's starting to come around. He just keeps rewinding the tape on us and going back to, the Gleyber Torres that we are not enjoying watching.
Here's a concern. This is his quote-unquote hot streak, and he's still costing us games. That's my kind of takeaway here. Offensively, he's been so much better. His quality of at-bats have been so much better, but when you look at like the deep down, is he their second baseman of the future? No. And you're starting to question if he's your second baseman of the present. I mean, Torres now has 7 errors for the season. That's the most on the Yankees by far, and he has 2 more than any other second baseman in the majors. That's 2 more errors than any other second baseman in the majors, and his .963 fielding percentage is the lowest of the 40 at his position. That's right, not 14, but 40. Of the 40 at his position, he's got the lowest fielding percentage in the majors that have made at least 10 starts. That's what I'm concerned about. So it's not really his offense. His offense is always going to be his offense. His offense is always going to be there, right? But if you're giving me a .963 fielding percentage, which is by far worse than anyone else that is in the majors playing second base with 10 starts or more, then that really flags something to you. Like, I mean, is he really a positive? Because, like, his range is great, right? His range is great. His arm isn't. But I think it's deep down. I think it's a mentality thing, man. I think it's a mental thing. Sean says, no excuses for the laziness and lack of mental focus. And that's what I want to focus on, because that's where that inning stemmed from. Clark Schmidt was cruising, boy. He was cruising. He was just about to have another outing where the Yankees didn't go up a single run with their starters, right? He was cruising. And then the ball came to Torres, and Torres was just asleep. He should have made it. He didn't make it. He took a bad angle at it, and it went right through him. And that's what started it. And then it just snowballed, and it just snowballed and snowballed. Now, does that excuse, Caleb Ferguson, who continues to suck? No, it doesn't. Caleb Ferguson didn't look good when he came in. He's been a problem, but really, Gleyber Torres is a big issue here. Another thing, he got thrown out again, and that was another issue. The Yankees were in good spot. They looked like they could maybe get something going there, right? Torres gets a good job. He got on base, fine, excellent, right? But then he gets thrown out, and it was as simple as Kyle Higashioka dropping his glove as a signal to the pitcher to throw him out at first, and he did, bang, and that's really that's laziness to the fact that the catcher can already see that Torres is way off and that you can get him thrown off. So that's two massive issues right there yesterday. So that's the error which basically started the floodgates to open, and then of course him getting thrown out. And that's two massive things. He's a terrible base runner and he's a terrible defensive second baseman now. Right? Now, if you look at the analytics, it actually says his defense is a plus, but I would love to question that because for me, he looks better offensively than he does defensively, right? Even though the analytics say otherwise, I would tend that's where if you just rely on the stats, it doesn't tell you everything. If you just go by the Baseball Savant page, it doesn't tell you everything because it doesn't cover what's in there. And right now, it's not a lot positive that's going on up there, man. It's just a little bit. Is laziness the right word? I don't know because I don't want to be overly harsh on the guy because he cares, right? There's no doubt he cares. He wants to be a Yankee forever. There's no doubt about it. But he just doesn't, he's just not locked in all the time. He doesn't carry the right focus. And he's the only issue in this wonderful team. Because I want to spend most of this podcast talking about the positives, right? I want to get this Torres thing out of the way right now because I want to focus on the positives. This team is phenomenal. This team's going to win 100 games. This is the best Yankee team I've seen since 2009, if not before that. That's how positive I feel about this team. The best duo in baseball, possibly the best duo, one of the best duos that we're going to have ever in Judge and Soto. That's how good and positive I feel about this team, right? So it's not me being negative. I just want to point out there's one thing and one thing only which is stopping us from absolutely destroying the league, and is Gleyber Torres' performance. He has been a net negative so far. His focus isn't there, his defense isn't there, and his offense, even though this is the best streak that he's been on, is still costing us games.
Rob, let's get your opinion on it.
Yeah, I mean, I was messaging Donald throughout the game yesterday, and when that play happened, we were just kind of like, what else do you expect at that point? It's like the fifth time this year that we've had a Gleyber blunder start a rally like that. Yeah. And it was a bunch of cheap hits that scored their runs. And it's exactly like how we lost that game to Seattle, where a bunch of dink and dunks, bad defense. I mean, we're not going to put it all on Gleyber because Anthony Rizzo continues to look very bad defensively as well. But that play, you're always taught to get in front of the ball, or get behind the ball, not get in front of it. Get behind the ball and get it, throw it. But he tries to backhand it, and even the announcer's like, "You should have fielded that ball. You had plenty of time." So it was just another issue that I've been pretty patient with the guy, but it's to a point where I'm just like, can we do a split DH thing with him and Stanton? Because Stanton, you have to ride the hot streak, but you also have to know when he gets cold, you kind of have to sit him for a game or two. And while Torres' bat is heating up, do you maybe DH him and put Stanton on the bench for a little bit and just kind of like alternate with them? But it's rough. It's really rough watching him play defense sometimes because I know he's better than this, but he's just making so many lapses like this, and it's happening almost once a week where it starts a rally for the other team. And it could have, I don't know if we would have won that game, but we would have had a much better chance to come back and win that game if he makes that play.
Facts.
Yeah. It just seems like every time that there's a rally going on or there's an important play that needs to be made, he's in the middle of it, and 9 times out of 10, he's not fully executing the play, whether it's the inability to properly turn a double play, or like Rob said, you're always taught in Little League, keep the ball in front of you, and the most simplistic plays, he makes look like they were impossible. And that's where I think the patience runs thin. And and that's why I believe we are where we are as a fan base right now. Because we should not be having the constant, discussion of, Gleyber's future. Especially in a contract year. His play should be flawless with the bat and with the glove. And while the bat, it's not like he's, mashing the ball. He's been serviceable at the plate. But, Donald, you pointed out the Savant numbers. He's atrocious on the field. and it's like, we need LeMahieu back as fast as possible, and it just seems like, every time we take a step further to getting LeMahieu back, there's a step backwards that's keeping him, that's preventing him from getting back on the field.
Well, he's coming back tomorrow.
Well,
that's a positive.
Quick enough.
That's a positive.
No, and I know we're getting him back. I'm just saying that's been the narrative, So,
I mean, also, like, this is his hot streak, right? But of the 20 registered second basemen, Gleyber Torres is 17th in OPS. 17th out of 20. I mean, if you look at the people that are actually doing better than him: Thairo Estrada, Jeff McNeil, Edouard Julien, Nolan Gorman, Ozzy Albiz. I mean, all these guys are much better than Gleyber Torres' OPS. That's kind of embarrassing, right? That's what I'm concerned about. I mean, his slugging is also 16th out of 20. So he's in the bottom 5 of second basemen in slugging. Again, Jeff McNeil's ahead of him. Jeff McNeil sucks, and Jeff McNeil is ahead of him. And I mean, Isaiah Kinder Falefa, for crying out loud, is ahead of him. I mean, the fact that Thairo Estrada is light years having a better year than Gleyber Torres really says something to me, man. And there's nothing positive about Gleyber Torres. I mean, you're looking at these numbers, and the numbers are scary. Scary. Remember, he's being paid $14 million in arbitration this year. $14 million. These names that I've already listed are getting paid significantly less. A lot of the guys that are ahead of him are getting paid significantly less. And that's where there's no excuse for what Torres is doing this year. It's bad.
No, and it's really affecting, because it's also affecting the rest of the team and the rest of the offense. I like this comment here from Joan. Rodon yelled at Rizzo for fielding a ball meant for the second baseman, and it's dead true. They don't trust him to field the ball. And it ended up where it was Gleyber's ball. Like, Rizzo was completely out of place on that play. But that's why nobody was there to receive the ball. Rodon didn't have time to get over there. And we saw that also, in yesterday's game, where the pitcher didn't play his position properly and get over to first.
Oh, yeah, that was weird. He didn't cover first, but he was slow to get over there.
Yeah. So
that was Gonzalez, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it was Gonzalez. And it was like, these are basic fundamentals. These guys are just completely lacking.
That's our biggest issue on the team, is the left side or the right side of the infield. It's an issue because I don't want to put Gleyber at the forefront of the issues, because this team is really freaking good, like really good. You can afford a rough game like this when you're 19 games over 500. There goes Tats. We're a really good team, and when you have one thing you have to critique, because I'm not going to critique the bullpen. The bullpen, aside from 2 guys that I think you can replace right now, you can at least replace one of them, Santana. We're going to get Hamilton back tomorrow as well. The bullpen's fine. Our closer is arguably the best in baseball right now. Our lineup is the best in baseball, and our rotation has been the top 3 in ERA. So there's been no issues with this team aside from the right side of the infield. And I would trust Rizzo to be better down the stretch than I would Torres right now. So what's up,
Brad? How are you? What time is it over there in Aussie land, man? Thank you for joining us.
It's got to be like early in the morning, right? He's like,
how did Rizzo not get charged the error yesterday? That's what I wanted to know.
I think he did.
No, it got overturned. It was an error that got overturned.
Wow.
And then it went to, and then it was turned into a single. This is now at least the second time off the top of my head that Rizzo has had a clear error overturned. Is Rizzo like threatening guys like behind the scenes, going, "I'm going to give you an offer you cannot refuse."
He's not that scary. He's from Parkland, Florida. He went to.
I don't know, but he's getting away with absolute moida here, man. He's like
that's why I don't want to put this all on Glaber, because I'm watching Rizzo play defense and he is not the same player. He's been rough. So I mean, we talked about this the other day about the Hal comments, and that's why I'm like, there's only like one free agent that's not named Juan Soto that I think we should bring back, and that's Clay Holmes. And I don't even know if they're going to do that. So that's why I'm not worried about his comments, because they're focused on Soto, and that's the only guy they should be focused on. But Glaber is obviously the one that you talk about the most, because he's doing this constantly, and it's been funky to watch.
Good to see you, D-Train. Thanks so much for joining us.
That's right. We're on at a very different time. Normally we do these shows at 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the ladies do their show on Sunday mornings. So anybody that's that's popping in that hasn't been here before, but one thing we always like to ask you to do, throw a 1 in the chat so we know it's your first time, so us and the community can give you a proper welcoming to the show and the channel. And if you are enjoying the comment, whether it's your first time or you've been here from the beginning, hit that like button. And if you haven't subbed already, hit that sub button as well.
Hit that sub button, baby. Let's go.
Yep. So, no, I know, Donald, we're all itching to get to the positives of it because we won a series. But let's shift the focus to Rizzo. Because Rizzo's, defense has been, it's not what we were expecting. Is this the aftermath from last year, or is it just age catching up to him where it kind of looks like he lost a step? And he's just not he's not as sharp a fielder as we've been expecting from him. And I'm starting to question, whether it's
first time long time.
Is he past his prime?
Let's kick it off to Rob. What do you think, bro?
Give me 1 second. I got a call from my sister coming in.
Yep. Nope. So, Donald, what's your take on Rizzo?
His OPS isn't great. I agree with that. Defensively, doesn't have the normal range that he used to, and he's not as good at scooping as he was before. Definitely, Rizzo ain't the same. I think it's age. I think it's probably age. It's probably wear and tear.
Yeah.
I think this is probably going to be his last year. But Rizzo's not had a bad year. It's not like he's been it's not like he's been a complete negative like as Torres has been. I think Rizzo's been fine.
No,
like offensively, he's doing his best. Like he's in runners and scoring position. I think Rizzo's been pretty solid, but yeah, I think it's probably a little bit of wear and tear. He's not the same. He's definitely not the same. He's not the same power guy. Certainly not the same defensive first baseman as he was. So yeah, I'm gonna get Rizzo's stats up here, and I'm gonna have a look in more depth here, and see what's going on here with Anthony Rizzo. I don't think he's been that bad, but he's not been great.
Yeah, we'll go to a couple of comments while you're pulling those up. And Sean Browning is saying it's a bit of both in his opinion, but more the lingering effects of the concussion. He will turn it around. Sean, look, I always try to be the optimist fan. I'm not so sure. I'm really not. But I don't think it's the effects of the concussion, because it's not that his eyes aren't deceiving him. He's just slower. And I think that's where it becomes more of an issue where, it's the age factor rather than the injury factor. And
right. So basically his OPS, he's of the 23 registered first basemen on MLB.com, Rizzo sits 13th in OPS. Slugging, he's in the middle of the pack in slugging as well. OBP, very much middle of the pack. So that's basically where I thought he would be. It's like he's not been bad, he's not been great, he's just been middle of the pack. That's what he is now. He's a middle of the pack first baseman, offensively. And to be honest, that's all we really need. We don't really need him to be like phenomenal, but
No, no,
is
no,
he
no,
is
no.
he what we'd
But
expect? No, probably not. But he's been fine.
no, but you also have to think, take into account, and I like we've been saying for the last few weeks, this all trickles from the subtraction of DJ from the everyday play, because Rizzo doesn't really have anybody comparable to give him a day off. So he's playing every day.
Mm-hmm.
I think so far he got one, maybe 2 days off so far this year. And it might just be because he's been, he's an older player. Like Sean says, and yes, he's a cancer survivor, and that doesn't, believe me, no, that takes into account of the patience level. But we're here to win games. And I know that sounds very callous, but
Well,
his 12
we
years.
are winning games. We're winning a lot of games, so he's not
Yeah,
stopping us from winning games.
but I also think it's the fact that he does have a lot of mileage on his baseball body. Started because he got called up very young too. This might be the after effect of having guys come up as early as they do, where they're not able to really go into the golden age of their careers, where they just fall off just a little bit sooner. What's going on, Donnie? How you been? But
Rizzo is definitely swinging against lefties. This is the big thing for Rizzo. He's got 0 home runs and just 1 RBI and a 189 batting average against lefties. Lefties is where he's struggling. That's where Anthony Rizzo's struggling. That's something to maybe look at.
yeah.
First base, has been average. Offensively, he's been average. Actually, he's top 6 amongst first basemen in hits, so he's getting hits. But against lefties, he's absolute nothing.
Yeah. Rob, what's your opinion on Rizzo? Is it the concussion? Is it age? Is it lack of rest? Like, what do you attribute most to the flaw for him this year?
Just think he's not that good anymore. He was great. He has some flashes. He's a streaky guy. He's not. I don't think he'll be back next year, but maybe they think about doing a platoon thing against lefties with him. Sit him against lefties, play DJ. This way he can keep Torres in the lineup. They could do that. This way you keep guys fresh, keep guys rested, because they have to rest. And Rizzo's played a lot. To his credit, he has played a lot. And this is a guy that is getting older. He has had some injuries throughout his career, especially lately. So I think you just got to give him a little time off. I think we're playing a couple of lefties in the next coming series against the Angels in San Francisco. I think we go against Snell. We're supposed to, at least. So maybe you sit him a little bit. Give him some time off with LeMahieu back. If LeMahieu's 100% and he's hitting like the way he should, you want his bat in there as much as you can. This is a way to get Torres off the field, and it's a way to get Rizzo a couple of days off. And you can also get Stanton some days off. You rotate these guys. These are all older players, and they need rest. There's a few guys on this team that can play every day, but those 3 probably aren't everyday players for this team right now. So I think you just just platoon them if you can, and hopefully Rizzo gets hot again. Then you can keep him in the lineup. But
this is where it sucks that Birdie's hurt, and it looks like Birdie's going to be out for a long time.
Yeah, at least a month, I would think.
Yeah, that's kind of a shame. So we're going to need DJ to play quite a lot. We've got Ozzy as well, who's played actually very solid third baseman. I wonder if he's going to be moved around. Can he play second? I've not really seen him play much second. I don't know if he's really a second baseman. I don't know if he's at his best there. But it's something to consider. DJ LeMahieu's obviously he won basically like 90% of his Gold Gloves at second base. But the thing is, he's older now and has a lot of wear and tear. Second base might be a little bit of a stretch for him at his age and his wear and tear. That's why I think the Yankees really want to keep DJ LeMahieu at third base, which leaves Ozzy and maybe Oswald Peraza. Maybe if he can maybe he can get hot in AAA. At the moment, nothing's going to change with Gleyber Torres. The Yankees love him. They're on the hook for $14 million, so there's not much value in sitting him. So they're going to ride it out with this guy. I feel that he's a bigger problem than Gleyber Torres. Anthony Rizzo. I think he's a bigger problem than Anthony Rizzo. I don't think Rizzo's great anymore, but Rizzo's hardly been a massive issue. He's still a really positive locker room guy, smart dude, locked in all the time, gamer, and can contribute RBI. So I'm not overly worried about him, but he's not the same. We have to live with him. I do agree that if he this is going to be difficult for Aaron Boone because he's going to have to manage some egos here. Rizzo's a guy that is used to playing every day. Gleyber Torres is a guy that loves to play every day, needs to play every day. And you got DJ LeMahieu who wants to play every day. And you got Anthony Rizzo who wants to play every day. These are guys that want to play every day, and yet one of them has to sit. So how are we going to make this work? I wonder whether you can talk to Rizzo about, hey, you're going to be cool with against lefties. You sit once in a while. That's going to be interesting. These are some big egos now. Joe Torre had no problem managing egos. Where it's going to be a big test for Aaron Boone. See, this is a big test of his mettle here. Maybe talk to Gleyber Torres like, brother, we love you, man, but you've not been locked in like all season long, so you're gonna have to sit. Something like that. That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's such a big hole, and I think with DJ coming back tomorrow, I think it's going to be a big, it's going to be a plus. Just watch the Bronx Zoo. I have not watched that yet, Donnie, but I do want to watch that because that does sound interesting. But maybe after I watch it, we'll do we'll do a review on it for everybody. But
so we're almost a half an hour in, and we've not talked about anything positive, and there's so much positive. To be honest, I thought the Padres were completely overmatched in that series. I thought the Yankees steamrolled them, right? I really did. I thought, bar that one meltdown, the Yankees had the Padres in their pocket the entire series. Do you guys agree?
Oh, it beat the crap out of him. Beat the crap out of him. The first game, Darvish was coming in red hot, and we kicked his ass. And then Dylan Cease has been was a Cy Young candidate, and he's been getting tagged a little bit lately. But we got to him, and of course it was Musgrove who had the highest ERA of the three that shut us down. Go figure. Mm-hmm. But this offense came out and just beat the living crap out of Darvish, and I did not see that coming. So one game is not going to deter me from how good this series has been.
No. Yeah,
or how good this series was, how good this team has been. So, if you would have told me they'd go after a good series, go right on the road, very next day, West Coast, and play like that, I wouldn't have believed you. I thought we were going to lose the first game. I really did, just because it's tough to travel East Coast to West Coast, go against Darvish. I'm like, we'll probably lose game one, maybe take the next two, but no, they came right out and swung a hot bat. So, man, it was a hell of a start to that series. Those first two games were fun. Really good.
Let's break down that inning where we tattooed Darvish. Here's a crazy stat, right? Darvish, prior to facing the Yankees, had 25 consecutive innings without giving up a single run. 25 consecutive innings without giving up a run. And the Yankees went batting practice on him. They were crushing him all over the field. They were all going batting practice. It was amazing. Soto, Judge, then Verdugo hit it off the top of the wall, and then right after that, Stanton just with a breathtaking shot. You're like, oh, that is like illegal in 50 states kind of shot from Big G. I mean, all of them were tattooing. Aaron Judge had an unbelievable series. I'm going to hand it off to Rob to talk about Aaron Judge. The series phenomenal. But that inning set the tone for the whole series because the Yankees were like, oh, my God, we got the number on this team. And we steamrolled them. we steamrolled them, and most of San Diego were Yankee fans, from what I heard. Anyway, it was like 60-40. It was packed house. Like, credit to San Diego, packed house, but it was like 60-40 Yankee fans. It was loud and it was awesome. And dude, we steamrolled Darvish, and then Dylan Cease. Aaron Judge was like, "Bro, you ain't got nothing on me, bro." And then he was like, he was hitting it.
Oh my beer.
Atmosphere, and so did Stan. Like, we're talking Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease, who's having a Cy Young caliber year. The Yankees are taking care of him, right? Luis Castillo for the Mariners took care of him. Miller of Seattle took care of him. These are big time arms. These are some of the best arms in the majors that you're looking at. They're having great years, and the Yankees are destroying them. Absolutely destroying them. And embarrassing them too. Yu Darvish got embarrassed. He got absolutely embarrassed. Like, the last time that I've seen almost 4 straight home runs was when the Red Sox did that against Chase Wright back in 2007. And I remember messaging Rob at the time. It was a horrible inning. The Yankees gave up back-to-back home runs. Chase Wright did against the Red Sox, right? We almost saw that right there. It was almost back-to-back. We had 3 home runs out of 4, and it was just off the top of the wall. It was a phenomenal job by the Yankees, man, because Darvish is a phenomenal pitcher. 25 consecutive innings, didn't give up a run, and the Yankees just rolled him over. And then they did it to same. Well, Dylan Cease pitched well, but
He did.
The Yankees did the damage that they needed to do to set it up for their rotation, who doesn't give up any runs, to get the win. I like this Padres team. I actually do. I think the Padres team is pretty damn good. I think they've had some really decent acquisitions. I love Arvaez, although he's not a good defensive player, but he's so good offensively. He's crazy. He's batting like 350. And then Jerickson Profar, how about that guy? Batting well over 320, signed for $1 million. So I have to give credit to the Padres. Like, they've made some smart acquisitions, but the Yankees took care of them. But that one inning where it just all kind of fell apart, that's why I don't want to focus on that inning, because there's so much positives. We're talking about an excellent team on the road in California, and the Yankees were just like, you guys got nothing on us. And
Yeah,
see, that's.
Go ahead, Ted.
I was going to say, that's why, I've been leaving this comment up here from Slim Lewis, and thanks for the comment. Normally those first games on the West Coast trips, in the past, we've always had trouble with, adjusting to the time zone for some reason. This never works in our favor. But it was also, and Sean brought it up also, I'm going to read out this comment here. Darvish just had a bad day. He was hanging everything that was throwing 92 miles an hour, 4 seamers right down the middle. And it's not like the Yankees weren't raking off his best stuff. But that's what happens when you have this lineup and the pitcher does not have his best stuff. This lineup is supposed to do that. If you're missing, I was, with some, some other friends and the content creators, we're all talking. We're like, and I kept saying, I'm like, his breaking balls are sitting flat in the zone. That's why they're hitting him so hard. So I do agree. Yes, he did not have his best stuff that day, but it also starts with Sean's comment, which is what I wanted to say at the beginning. Is it all started with Torres with Volpe's triple. Now you remember, he has the 25 inning scoreless streak. You got a runner on third with no out, and you still have to get through. You still have, you're not even near the dangerous part of the lineup. So he didn't know what to do at that point, and he panicked. And I'm sorry, you can't. A pitcher of his stature should not panic the way he did. And the Yankees benefited from it, and they took advantage of it, and they rocked them. And that's the end of it. That's all it comes down to. They took advantage of every mistake pitch that he threw, and he just couldn't pitch well enough to navigate through. Too bad.
And
so
just to pick
sad.
up on Slim's comment there, I don't think we should use that to detract from what the Yankees did, because I just named all these other ace starters that the Yankees have tattooed lately. We're talking about Dylan Cease, Luis Castillo, Miller. I mean, these are great names, and the Yankees have taken care of them or done the job in order to win That's all I'm asking them to do. I mean, we're talking great arms. You're not gonna.
Well, that's why. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah. So, Rob, tell me, how good is Aaron Judge right now?
Try to tell you guys. I try to tell you all. Put some respect on this man's name.
Oh my God!
There was so much negativity surrounding my captain, and I kept hearing it from a lot of people that he didn't deserve it, or they started getting mad that he was the captain now. And Donald had some things to say about his captaincy. So you know what? I'm using this as an opportunity to say, not to you, Donald, because I love you, but to the rest of you, go fuck yourself, because you doubted my captain and you talked all that smack about my captain, and he's showing you why he is the captain. Demote him. You shouldn't have signed him. Oh, take away the captain. Jeter would never. Oh, you know what? He's not Derek Jeter. He doesn't need to be Derek Jeter because he's Aaron Judge, and he's on pace to do what he did in 2022 again. That's how good he's been. He is on pace after those first 20-some-odd games where he looked lost. He is on pace to do it again. That is how good this guy is. If he doesn't run into that slab last year, he would have had another potential 60 home run season. He would have had 50 easily. This is how good this guy is. And he can have a 20-plus game slump and still be on pace to hit another 50-plus home runs. This guy is unbelievably good. And every time he strikes out, I don't want to hear this nonsense that he's not a contact hitter or, oh, I rather have Soto because he makes better contact. You don't need to compare the two because we have both. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto are the greatest duo in baseball right now. And it's going to be hard to find another one that's this good. It may be the best ever, especially if they keep them together, which I believe they will. So Aaron Judge has been by far proving that he is the best player in baseball, because you don't have a month like this that we haven't seen in the history of the sport. What he has done has not been done in the history of the sport. What is it, 11 doubles and 10 home runs in a 20-game span, whatever it is? It's not been done before. And this is, and they mentioned this in the broadcast, this is a time where hitting is as difficult as ever because of how hard guys throw and the way guys spin the ball. And Aaron Judge is breaking records that have not been touched since the early 1901.
Fact. I know, bro. Insane. Yes, he has actually made history. Never done before. His numbers are absolutely stupendous. How about this one? He's the only player to ever record 11 home runs and 12 doubles over a 20-game stretch. Never seen before in the history of baseball. And not just that, he's wiping the floor. He leads the American League in all categories, apart from being one off the home run lead. Everything else, he's first in the American League. Number one in OPS across all of baseball. What are we talking about here? And another thing that I also want to give him credit for, he's the one that made it really comfortable for Juan Soto. Once Juan Soto was brought in, Aaron Judge was like, I'm more than happy to move over to center field in order to accommodate Juan Soto, right? Not just that. He made it a point to be like his comrade and make it like a Batman and Robin kind of a thing, right? Whoever is Batman, I don't care. They're both Batman, right? And that's something that other leaders wouldn't necessarily do, right? So you have to give him credit for that. And this is something that I've had to think about because it was, like I'm old school. I'm Derek Jeter all the way, right? But I have to say, Jeter didn't necessarily always have his arms open for certain guys, right? But Aaron Judge has. Like Juan Soto, he was just like, bro, like we're gonna get this done together, and he's made it very comfortable for Juan Soto. I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. Another thing, like by moving to third and allowing Juan Soto to bat second, Juan Soto gets more at bats that way. But he's more than happy to be selfless for the team because, like, okay, oh, cool, I'm going to get the RBI opportunities then. That's fine. That'll suit me. So Aaron Judge is a selfless guy. He's a leader. And he also has the humility to share the spotlight. Great point, Sean. I'm going to give you a star for that. That's right. There is more than enough room for 2 stars. And they're both Batman, in my opinion. Juan Soto's having an unbelievable year. And there's other stats here that are just like crazy that they're doing. Do you realize what both of them are on pace to do? Guys, they are on, like, Judge is on course for 51 home runs on 117 RBIs, right? Soto's on pace for 42 home runs and 129 RBIs. Okay? So combined, they could end up driving in 250 runs and hit 90 home runs combined. Right? That's what they're on pace to do right now.
What you mentioned Stanton.
This is the greatest duo I've ever seen. Right now. Like, in front of me. Right in front of me. I've never seen, in the 40 years of watching baseball, I've never seen a better duo. One after the other. Have you?
It's probably the best I've seen since Ortiz and Manny. 1,000%.
But they're both doing steroids. They don't count.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying one that I've watched. I watched those two absolutely obliterate us on a nightly basis for years, and it took years off of my life and gave me nightmares. So I'm going to give them respect where it's due. They beat the crap out of us too many times for me to count. But it's better, in my opinion, because these are two guys that are doing it the right way, right? They're not cheating. So again, but I hated watching Ortiz and Manny do that to us, but there's no denying that duo was freaking scary for the entire league. But that's what they're doing right now because you don't want to pitch to them. And that's what made those Red Sox teams so good in the early 2000s and throughout the 2000s when they were together, is the rest of the lineup would feast because they were afraid of Manny and Ortiz. And that's what we're kind of seeing now. Oh, Volpe's been red hot. Verdugo's taking advantage of it. Stanton's been hot. Torres is heating up as Slim Lewis brings up his numbers over the last 2 weeks. So a lot of guys are benefiting from how good those two are because they're afraid to pitch to them. And that's what's making the rest of the line. So we knew once Judge got going, everything else was going to trickle down. It wasn't going to be a one-man show anymore, a one-man shoto. Once Judge got going, everything else fell into place. And it's not a coincidence that once Judge got hot, the entire lineup just became red hot at the same time. So that's what Stroman says it. We follow our captain. Where he goes, the team goes. He's the leader of this team for a reason. And everyone follows suit. Now him and Soto are unstoppable, and the rest of the lineup's like, now it's our turn too. And this is why you're seeing them win games and win them handily, win series, and look really good doing it. It's fun to watch. Really fun to watch.
Just plug my article here. I've just published regarding Judge and Soto's new historic duo. So go and check that, guys, out. Everybody watching. Further to the point, when you got Soto at the plate and then following him, Aaron Judge, there's no soft landing, right? Then right after that, you got Verdugo, who's a versatile hitter. Then right after that, you got Giancarlo Stanton with the best bat speed in the league. There's no soft landing there, guys. So if you don't want to pitch to Soto, fine. Guess what? He'll be on base. He's more than happy to pass the baton. Then Aaron Judge is up, and Aaron Judge is in the hottest streak I've ever seen. In fact, not I've ever seen, has ever been seen. This is a crazy hot streak that he's on. Guy is batting almost 500 right now, and he has 13 doubles and 12 home runs in the last 21 games. I mean, this guy's crazy. So then after that, then you got Verdugo, who's having an excellent year. Then after that, you got Giancarlo Stanton, who's got 414 career home runs. The guy could still he could still hit 500 career home runs, Giancarlo Stanton, if he stays healthy. The rest of the way, he's 34 years old. There's probably another 2-3 good years in him. He could possibly very well get to 500. Probably not as a Yankee, but he's got 414. So he's sitting there in the 5 spot, and he's gonna rake because he's got still an elite bat speed. So there is no soft landing there. Then after that, you go Rizzo, who's 6th amongst first basemen in hits. Even though he's not the same first baseman, he's still okay. So he's not a soft landing. Then after that, you're going to have DJ LeMahieu. He's multiple batting champion. Then after that, you go Gleyber Torres. Torres, listen, he is what he is. He can still hit a little bit. He's not the same, but he still can hit a little bit. There's no soft landing there. Trevino, having a good year, right?
I also think we've reached that point we're giving all this praise to players, we're being a little critical. I think it's time for a couple of awards to be given out as we get into that portion of the show. So, Donald, it is time for your award show.
Feeling the vibes. And I'm feeling the vibes for a really damn good series where we took the Padres apart, baby. Yeah, we did. Darvish got taken care of. So MVP. MVP is straightforward, right? There's no other MVP. MVP, how about God VP? That's what Aaron Judge was, man. He was a god out there. He was the MVP. I'm not hearing anything else other than that. But we could still pass it around. Rob, who's your MVP?
Aaron Judge. Next.
Uncle Tats.
It's Aaron Judge, hands down. He killed it. This series was the Aaron Judge show.
It was the Judge show, bro. Like, breathtaking, incredible, earth-shattering.
The audience,
every superlative, and the Judge is absolutely raking here. 100%. It's the first time I've ever seen 100% right across the board. There's not even a consideration for anyone else. That's how good Aaron Judge was. Low-key MVP, though, we could certainly have a debate about that. My low-key, I'm going to give to Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe continues his hitting streak. This is a massive hitting streak he's on right now, guys. And he's doing it low-key. Like, he's not getting the headlines that Soto and Judge is getting, right? But he is getting on base. He's on a massive hitting streak. What's he on, like 17-game hitting streak now?
19.
No,
Jesus Christ. So he's the low-key MVP for me. Anthony Volpe has been awesome. And I love that he wasn't afraid to try and steal bases. He wasn't afraid to try and make things happen. That's what I like to see. 19-game hitting streak, thanks, NFE. Remarkable. He's the perfect leadoff hitter right now. So tip the cap. This is a guy in his sophomore year. There's no sophomore slump with Anthony Volpe, guys.
No, not at all.
Normally you hear, sophomore slump, is still going to get. No, Anthony Volpe is like, no, fuck it. I'm awesome now. And he's raking. He's got a really nice swing. His swing is so much better, so much more level, and he's making things happen. And he's making use of his speed too. He's my low-key MVP. Let's pass it to Rob.
Yeah, I'm going with Volpe. I was trying to think of, do I give it to Soto? But, man, Volpe had a great series. He started that rally, and I believe he had another triple or double against C, so he just had to hit every single game, obviously. He's bumped his average up to 282. Thank you, NFE. Because he looked so bad when they moved him up to leadoff, and we were critical of it. I was very critical of it, and he has completely silenced me. So much respect to Volpe, and I love that Aaron Boone said we're not changing the top of the order when DJ is back. So they're keeping him there. So it's too late to move him down now. Keep him there. He looks comfortable again. Don't mess with it. They messed with it the last time when he was comfortable, and it affected him. Now he's comfortable again. Don't mess with it.
JT, I'm with you, man. I know it's most likely 0% chance to bring Paducah back, but damn, he's such a good yank. Not just the clubhouse, like offensively as well, and defensively. I mean, he's been we all thought he was going to have a great year, right? We were all very excited about the acquisition. I've always been a big Verdugo fan, even when he was in Boston. I know everyone hated him in Boston. I personally loved him. I thought he'd be a perfect Yankee, and clearly Cashman agreed, and it's worked out. But defensively, Gold Glove level. Offensively, we're talking about someone who's batting in the cleanup hole, and he's been excellent. So, and in the clubhouse, he's just wonderful. And you see what he's doing. Like, I saw a video of him like taking kids to the Yankee clubhouse store, and they're all trying on big chains and things like that. This guy is just made to be a Yankee. I absolutely love Verdugo. But yeah, we got off course there. Uncle Taz, who is your low key?
Yeah, no, it's Volpe. The hitting streak, the leadoff triple, to kind of rattle Darvish, which really set off the momentum for the whole series.
Fact.
And it's a 19-game hitting streak. You don't see those too much in this day and age. So the fact that, whether it's in the first inning or his last at bat, I mean, he's taken the approach where, he's determined to get on base, and it's not for his own acclimates. It's more, I don't just have to get on base to increase the streak. I need to put my team in a position with the guys behind me to put up a run. And it's that mentality. It's like that's why it could have easily gone to one of the starting pitches, but when you have a 19-game hitting streak, he's got to get his credit.
Yeah, and looking at the fans, it's actually pretty much across the board. Everyone agrees that Volpe is the low-key MVP. So salute to low-key MVP. Volpe, the Clutch Award. Quite a few candidates. This one could be interesting. Let's ask Rob.
They didn't really have like the need for clutch moments, right? Because they kicked the crap out of them. It was 8-0 in the first game. Then, so I'm gonna give this one. Oh man, this is actually, I can't really think of one. Because who was really clutch? Do you say the rally starter that got them going?
Well, here's where clutch can be taken in different ways. Like, for instance, like Soto got a big hit yesterday. It didn't pan out, but it should have been. He gave us the lead, and we were up 1-0 until Gleyber Torres decided to blow the game. Yeah. So you could argue that maybe he was clutch for that hit, and you could have like a third MVP if you have, because we got those two. Maybe we could just use the clutch award as a third MVP. So my MVP, my clutch award goes to Soto. Rob, who's yours?
You know what? I want to give him some credit because I don't think we're going to see him again very soon. Yoendrys Gomez got called up. He pitched a scoreless inning. He struck out the side, and we're probably not going to see him, unfortunately. And I know the game was over at that point because we were kicking the crap out of him. But yeah, give me Yoendrys. I want to give him a little respect there. I thought that was pretty clutch having him, knowing that he's going to get sent down when we activate Hamilton tomorrow. It's unfortunate, but that's probably going to be the case.
Call. I like that.
Let's say hello to Jonathan. How are you doing, Jonathan? Thanks so much for joining us. Uncle Tats, who's your clutch?
My clutch is going to Stroman. And I'll tell you why. That leadoff triple that never scored. We always talk about with the offense that or that those plays that spark a rally, and he did not let that rally happen. He was like, leadoff triple, yeah. Good luck getting that run in. And he trusted the defense and just made his pitches going, look, I trust my teammates. They're gonna help me get out of it. And they were able to, because when those runs score, sometimes that just opens up the dam. So the fact that Stroman on the mound prevented that runner from scoring, I thought that was the clutch moment to secure the series.
That's a very good one, Rob. Tats, it was a great one, man. So let's ask the fans. Looks like, Nosebleed agrees with you.
Fans here.
Yeah. The fans it's a great one with Stroh. Donnie says Soto. Stevie B says Soto. NFE agrees with you, Tats. So it's kind of 2-2 right now. Joan actually agrees with Rob on Gomez, so it's 2-2-2. So right, next vote wins, guys. Come on, guys. Next vote wins.
Might be the first Sean broke the tie. I was gonna say it might have been the first three-way tie we've ever had in these awards.
I know. That was
especially on the clutch.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Thanks for breaking the tie there, Sean. Going with my guy Soto. So Soto gets the clutch award. Let's go with the pitching. The pitching's absolutely phenomenal. So good. And I felt terrible for Clark Schmidt, who pitched great, and then and bad fielding cost him. Terrible fielding cost him, and I feel terrible for him because he was so good. But let's go with the pitching award. Let's start with Uncle Tats.
I'm going to go with Rodon.
Yeah,
I thought he pitched. I thought he pitched a good game, and he yelled at his teammates rather than the fans. You know, when he yelled at Rizzo, you know, for leaving his position to field the second baseman's ball, you know, rather than just be like, you know, and just kind of laughing it off, he's like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, you know, he knows where the players are supposed to be behind him. You know, and those are instinctual. So I think, and also it just kicked off the series. You know, you got Rodon and Darvish, who was red hot.
yeah.
Rodon, who's had a very solid season, where that could have turned into a slugfest. And because the Padres' offense, it always comes down to one inning for them, and they never really got that inning till yesterday. So I'm going with Rodon for the way he started the series off.
Can't argue with that, bro. He was great. Rob.
I'm going Marcus Stroman. You can't. It's really no bad choice because all three of them are great. But I think Stroman. I think he went deeper into the game, if I'm not mistaken. But he just looks much more comfortable right now, and he's joined the list of our starting rotation. 4 of the 5 have ERAs under 3, and Nestor's got like a 3.29. He's the highest in the rotation. It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah. It's absolutely absurd how good these guys have been. But Stroman went out there and just pitched really well. And you mentioned how he was your clutch award, and that was a good point. He could have easily let that run score, and maybe a couple of more could have scored if that became a rally. And he made sure it wasn't. He pitched his ass off, and he's been really freaking good, aside from maybe 1 or 2 rough starts. Yeah, you know, let him know, Joan. If you can rip on him all you want, because he probably would vote for Heel, even though he didn't pitch.
But your dad does love Luis Heel.
Put another R in there, though. You forget.
I love Luis Heel. Am I fighting with your dad over who loves Luis Heel the most?
No, he didn't know about Luis Heel until like 2 months ago. Let's stop. Let's be honest here. Just call it where it is. He didn't know who Heel was up until spring training, maybe.
Louis Gill?
Stro and Rodon, man, they were just incredible. To be honest, the whole rotation was great. It's hard to pinpoint.
It's really getting hard to pick
because they don't give up any runs.
No,
even Clark Schmidt didn't give up a run, really. I mean, he got charged one because of a stupid error, but apart from that, he was great too. So it's between Stro and Rodon, though, because they were really the stars of the show. Great point about Stro, but Rodon just never got in any trouble. He was just awesome. So I'm probably going to go with Rodon. Give Rodon some love. I've not given Rodon any love yet this year, so I'm giving Rodon his flowers for a monster series, getting his fastball in there. And I love that he dialed up his fastball when he needed to get the big out, and he always did. So Rodon was an absolute animal on the mound, so he gets that award. Let's go with the fans. Fans, who is your pitching award winner? NFC says Rodon, no doubt. Donnie says Stro Show. Nosebleed says starters. Stevie B says Stroman. Jones says Rodon.
Jonathan's got Stroman too.
So it's another 3-way tie.
It looks like Stroman. I don't know.
I was going to say, it looks like Stroman's got the edge.
Yeah,
Brad decided with Rodon, though.
Now he thought, Brad throws it Rodon. He hasn't commented in about a half hour. Boom. He wants to come in now and upset the apple.
Oh, Cat just called him Rodon.
Every vote counts. Every vote counts. I'm sorry. It counts.
Yeah, one more vote, guys. Either Stroman or Rodon, and don't vote for Schmidt just to make it weird. we need a clear winner.
A one for Heel.
Even though Schmidt pitched well.
Now he's got me saying it. Either Rodon or Stroman. Let's not go off.
We can call this one a tie.
We could. Honest. We could call this one a tie. Because
you know what? I think this justifies the tie.
Yeah.
They both went 6. They both shut them down. Like
Yeah.
it was.
Oh,
The
Deeds
B-Rod
is coming
said
with
Strowman.
Strowman wins in the last second. Strowman gets the love and the flowers. Great job there. Okay.
Brad, I
watch the
had
language,
to,
Brad.
Brad. I really had.
Watch the language, Brad.
Take the L award. This could be interesting. Let's start with
You know what? I'm
Gleyber
going to give
Torres.
it.
Fuck Gleyber Torres. He takes my
I'm
L.
giving it to the bottom of the 6th inning yesterday. That entire shit show.
Okay,
They
so
take the
Tats is going with
every
the
player involved that inning.
bottom of the 6th. Tats is going bottom of the 6th. Me, I've gone Gleyber Torres. Rob.
Yeah, that inning was so bad, right? Oh
It was
God,
that bad.
the pitching aside from Schmidt, like Santana, Dennis Santana can't hear. He gets a balk or whatever the hell that was. He's pointing at he steps off
What about
3
Caleb
times.
Ferguson?
Caleb Ferguson, absolute dud. I forgot who.
It's
How about
not being able to
Tompkins?
get the ball.
Yeah, thank God for
There
Tompkins
was-
for. It was just absolutely But Torres started the whole thing, so I got to give him the L.
He did. He started the fucking snowball.
If it has to be a
And
specific,
if the fans are pretty much, oh man,
they're all over Torres.
it is. It's all Torres. The fans are absolutely sick of Torres, just like me and Rob. Okay, Aaron Boone out of 10. Let's go with Uncle Tats.
It's, you know what? I wanted to give him more of. Yeah. My original score was a 7 out of 10, just because of the way that 6th inning yesterday. Once I seen it, I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" But because of him giving Gomez the chance to pitch, I'm going to bump it to a 9, and we did win the series. So I'm going to give Boone a 9 out of 10.
Damn, I already wrote you down for 7. Okay, just change this to 9. Here we go. 9 out of 10. Okay, Rob.
Carlos, just want to let you know I was joking with Brad. We love Brad here.
Yeah, we love Brad.
I wasn't being serious towards Brad, telling him to watch the language. But I mean, we won another series. I can't blame him for what happened in the 6th inning. So I guess I mean, give him a 7. We got the series. No, an 8. Give him an 8. 8. Make it an 8.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like if anything could have been done differently. The one thing you could critique is maybe you let Clark Schmidt go the rest of the 6th inning, because he brought in Gonzalez, and although he didn't pitch badly, he got in a lot of bad luck. I mean, all the runs were scoring. It went a combined about 30 feet and about 3 runs scored. So I can't blame Gonzalez, but then you think, Clark Schmidt had them. He was just so comfortable. He was cruising. And Aaron Boone, I mean, I think if you're being overly critical, I think you could maybe say that maybe if there was one person that would have gotten out of this danger, I would say it would have been Clark Schmidt. So I think he docks a mark there. Caleb Ferguson, he docks another mark there because Caleb Ferguson sucks. You should never, ever use Caleb Ferguson, especially when you're trying to come back in games. So that's another mark against. So I'm going to give him 7 out of 10. Let's go with the fans. The fans, let's see here.
A lot of 8s.
Lots of 8s. Yeah,
a lot of 8s, a couple of 7s, a couple of 9s, but I think 8's the consensus.
Yeah, Nosebleed says 7 as well, so it's between a 7 and an 8. So we'll go with 8 out of 10.
6.5.
I would say 7.5 if I was being an asshole, but I'm not. Okay, let's go with the Aaron Hicks Award for the worst of the worst. It could be anything. This is where you can have some fun with it. Anything that really pisses you off.
I'm going to go last on this one because mine's going to really send it into a total tailspin.
All right.
And it's just walk a whole other.
The worst of the worst. Could be anything you want. Let's go, Rob.
There really was nobody that was like Aaron Hicks worthy in this series. We could pick on Glaber, but I already gave him the L. Caleb Ferguson continues to be bad, but he wasn't like Sal Licata, so I don't want to put that on him. San Diego fans were great. The stadium was packed. The series was actually well announced. I had no complaints with the announce team. I don't think I have an Aaron Hicks award for this week, but I have to give one.
Man. You gotta have one.
What is
why?
Man.
You just named a million reasons why that really everything went fine. The umpires weren't even a factor.
Yes, there were.
There was that
umpire that argued with Juan Soto and almost had a fight with Juan Soto.
Actually, that one curve that was way above the zone that was called a strike.
Yeah,
that's more to take an L level.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna pick on a kid because there was some kid dancing behind home plate when the Yankees were pitching for like half an inning, it seemed. And I feel like he was distracting the Yankees pitcher. So, if I have to pick one, I don't know. I noticed it and I was like, who is this little bastard?
What about the old lady that was not even watching the game?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That happens a lot. There was some little
They actually stopped the broadcast to point her out.
I don't remember what game it was, what inning it was, but I looked up from my phone and there was some kid dancing and the Yankees were pitching and he was a Yankee fan. I was like, what is this little bastard doing? Doesn't he know he's probably distracted? So that's my prick award. He's the little shit gets the dancing award.
That's what I love about the Aaron Hicks award. It can be anything. Anything goes. Anything goes with the Aaron Hicks award. Mine, let me think here. I have one. And it was from game one, and it has to be this, guys. Let's get this.
How's it going, Jerry?
We're gonna share the screen, and it has to be this one. Let's get this. These jerseys right here, the City Connect jersey from game one.
I don't see
the guys got it.
Oh, those jersey. I was sitting watching the game with my wife, and she's like, "What the frick are they wearing? Pajamas?"
Exactly, bro. Exactly, bro. These fucking this. It looks like bubblegum ice cream. That's what it looks like. Look at that. It's exactly the same. It's exactly
you know who Kelly thought it was? She thought I was watching the Savannah Bananas.
I know. It looks exactly like that. That is my Aaron Hicks award. Like they've lost their minds. They've lost their minds in California. They've lost their minds in Cali. Like how that is actually a uniform that you would actually want to wear.
All right. Just because I don't know how many people are going to be old enough to remember this reference. It's I'm a Richard Simmons. And I think that wins it.
It looks like bubblegum ice cream, guys. Why would you wear that? You're not gonna be like, damn, that looks badass. You're not gonna see that hanging up on the shelves and go, you know what? That I'm gonna buy that. $100, I don't care. That looks badass. That doesn't look badass. That looks like you're about to go.
Like Zach Morris would wear to school on Saved by the Bell.
They do look like Saved by the Bell jerseys. I don't mind them. I really don't mind those jerseys that much.
Oh no!
They remind me of the Heat's Miami Vice jerseys, and I love that color scheme. So I mean, I don't love them, but I do like the color scheme. They're not the worst City jerseys out there.
All you ever wear is black or Giants blue. I've never seen you wear anything in that color scheme before.
It's because none of my teams give me a reason to put those on. Like if the Giants had those colors, it'd be weird, Like my teams wear blue.
Brad, he's lost respect for Robinho, and if he is disgusted, I am similarly to you, is disgusted. That is the Aaron Hicks Award. Right there was that garbage jersey. Now let's go with Uncle Tats.
All right, this is not gonna have anything to do with the series we just watched, but this is gonna be more of a PSA. And my Aaron Hicks Award goes to Rob Manfred and the MLB for putting the copyright strikes to take full revenue from Pitching Ninja and Fuzzy. They have now hit them with copyright claims where they can no longer monetize their MLB content.
Wow.
So now any videos they put out pertaining to the MLB, they do not get any revenue from. And Fuzzy put a video out about it this morning, and it pissed me off because all they have to do is say any tag with any talk about MLB, they can seize anybody's revenue. And I think that it's just such a bad precedent. Here we are. Here are these channels with tons of streams and people watching. This is how people get their baseball. I enjoy Fuzzy's comment and how he puts everything out. That's how I keep up with other teams sometimes when I have busy days. And now their content's no longer available. So shame on Manfred and the MLB. Go F yourselves because you just you're ruining a phenomenal platform. And there's nothing to say that he can't stop it there. He can go after any channel that deals with MLB, ours included, and just say, you know what? We want all your money because you're talking about us. It's selfishness, it's greed, and I think we need to do something. I think all these channels need to do something about it. So there's my Aaron Hicks Award.
Brilliant. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That is, I saw that. I didn't know he had Pitching Ninja too. Because if anyone watches his stuff, you learn so much about pitchers that you didn't know before. He's got such excellent content about pitching. That's why he's called the Pitching Ninja. And he interviews guys. Like I saw a lot of stuff when he had Marcus Stroman on a couple of years ago. That's why I was like, okay, this guy could be pretty good for us. And the fact that they're treating this freaking like it's a monopoly. Like, oh, you can't talk about my sport, but they want to grow the game. They'd rather spend all their time hyping up K-pop stars. They talk more about K-pop stars than they do about the people that are actually trying to grow the game to a bigger audience. Like the content creators out there, like a Fuzzy or a Pitching Ninja, have a huge audience, but all MLB cares about is what Shohei Ohtani smiled at in the dugout, or the K-pop guy who have a first pitch at the Dodger game. That's all they do. MLB is a joke. Their owners, Manfred's a joke. They got to get rid of him, but they won't. I can't wait for him to retire in a few years, but it's a joke. And you're right. You need to clip that actually and put that out there because you're absolutely right.
Man. Well said. It's mic drop right there. He's everything he touches tends to turn to shit. You know,
he ruins everything.
I still think it's disgraceful that after every inning, a pitcher has to get his hands felt and the glove.
Are we done with that by now or what?
Like there's like it. I know it's to prevent cheating, but it makes it look like it's cheating. The fact that you don't trust that a pitcher's actually just pitching very, very well. You have to go and fiddle around with their glove. I mean, it's everything he touches. The extra innings. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the runner and the ghost runner. I think it's stupid, right? It's just everything he touches just tends to be nonsense. And of course, let's not forget about the fact that everyone seems to. I mean, everyone seems to have forgotten that the Houston Astros cheated to win a title, and people are still calling it like a dynasty. It wasn't a dynasty. They cheated. You can't get a dynasty if you cheat. And what did Manfred call it? A piece of metal. A piece of metal. Oh, I don't see any reason to take the World Series away from him because it's just a stupid piece of metal. And everything he touches is just bad. You know, it's just bad juju, just bad stuff. Bad things happen. Anyone who took matters into their own hands and maybe threw at an Astro, he'd ban that player. And so basically they were getting punished more than the Astros. So it's been going on since he was day one. Like everything he's touched, even before then, steroids. He was right involved in the whole litigation and allowing a lot of these guys to get off with it. And so there's double standards involved, of course, as well. Everything he's touched has been a disaster. Then there was a shortened COVID season. That was ugly as hell. He had at least as much to do with it as Tony Clark. So everything he's touched has been a living nightmare. an absolute living nightmare. And he has a lot to do with the fact that the umpires are now going nuts and basically making an absolute clown of themselves every night. You turn on the MLB network and it will be another ridiculous umpiring decision. Just recently, they stopped the game. No, they ended the game early with one out to go. They called it interference and ended the game early. This has been going on now. It's a daily basis, not just the Yankees. It's been all over the league, and a lot of it is because of Rob Manfred. Because these umpires are sick of how they've been treated by MLB, so now they're just taking the laws in their own hands and making an absolute clown of themselves. And Tony Clark's allowing, and Rob Manfred's allowing it to happen right under his watch. Everything he touches is a disaster. The league is a mess. It really is. But thank God for the Yankees. Thank God for the Yankees. So thank God for the Yankees because the Yankees are amazing to watch. But I'll tell you what, the rest of the league is in bad shape. And a lot of it is because of Rob Manfred. Manfred couldn't leave sooner. He could not leave sooner.
Yeah, but D-Rod, I don't know. Look, I watch Fuzzy all the time. He's not saying anything, but because he won't go with MLB's narrative on certain players, how he put heavy into question about Ohtani, or the back in 2017 when he was very critical about how the Astros situation was handled. He's probably one of the more clean cut guys that's on.
Great point,
D-Rod. He never speaks out of turn.
So it's not just Fuzzy.
Exactly.
He's also gone after
You're not allowed to talk bad about baseball. That's the problem. It's just bullshit. It really is. Because it opens up the floodgate of who else can they go after? Are they going to go after to our community? Between us, with NFB, Mazza, Pete, Jason, where does it stop? Is he going to go after John Boy because, or the headaches that John Boy has caused baseball? The way he goes into a deep analysis on everything.
Yeah,
I just think that
you bring up a great point there because John Boy can get hit by it if Fuzzy, but they won't because John Boy works with baseball like almost.
Well, so does Pitching Ninja. He's a hired MLB analyst, and they've copyrighted all his stuff.
So you know what? They could go after John Boy. They can go after anybody. They can go after Pete if they wanted to. And it sucks. And that's crazy to think about because think of all the great stuff he's done over there. Just the simple having the MLB. Pete doesn't even show gameplay stuff, or at least on the streams, but they could go after him if they wanted to.
Yep.
That's scary. For what?
That's what I'm saying. It could open up the floodgates to shut the whole community down.
All
these basement
Brad says they went after John Boy already. Now he has an exemption. Wow. Just won't stop.
No, it's just sad. It really is sad.
It is sad, man.
Okay,
I don't know if you guys agree. Do you guys agree that this whole umpiring mess is a lot of it to do with Rob Manfred?
Let's say because he can't do anything.
Yeah.
The umpires are untouchable.
They are. And he's made them untouchable.
Yep.
No, they've been untouchable before Manfred. That's not on Manfred's watch.
It's never been this bad, guys. They're taking law in their own hands. I've never seen so many stupid decisions, and it's all been this year. I think a lot of it is to do with pay, and I think the risk of robot umps, and I think all this kind of stuff. And I think they're doing something behind the scenes because look at the amount of games have been thrown because of the umpire just doing crazy shit. Like they threw Aaron Boone out for no reason. Remember that? That only happened a couple weeks ago. Threw him out for no reason. A fan shouted.
Well, somebody got to pay for it.
And then it was another game just recently where he didn't even know who he threw out. And the manager went out to him and he's like, right, who you throwing out? I don't know. Pick someone. He actually just said to the manager, pick someone. That's what is happening right now.
Yeah, how about the umpire that calls the infield fly rule and then calls interference?
Right.
Well, which is it?
Well, yeah, he mentioned that earlier. It's a joke. The whole thing is a joke. But if we're talking about Manfred here, he's been bad since the day he stepped into freaking office. So he cannot retire soon. If I wish there was a way they can kick him out now. I've been watching too much of the Bronx Zoo, and when people were watching or waiting for Steinbrenner to get suspended, I was like, I wish there was some shady gambler out there that had some dirt on Manfred that we can get him kicked out of baseball sooner, because it did wonders for the Yankees that year in the early 90s, getting George Steinbrenner out of there. And we would do wonders for baseball if we can get Manfred out of there soon. And Tony Clark, too, that other piece of garbage. They need to reset the entire front office.
He's a terrible union rep. He really is.
He's a terrible player. He's a terrible rep, too.
Fuck, I quit.
Let's say hello to Doodle. I've not seen him in the chat before. Thanks so much for joining. Hit the like button, the sub button.
You know what, D-Rod? I wouldn't be opposed to that. Theo Epstein is the next commissioner. He worked his way through the ranks.
Yep.
He knows what it's like to be on the lower levels of the executive branches. I have no issue with that.
As for dirt on Manfred, I don't think you'd have to look that deep.
No.
Remember the A-Rod? I watched an A-Rod documentary on Netflix about the guy that was in Miami that helped give Aaron A-Rod drugs and all that stuff. Frickin' Manfred, even before he was commissioner, he was the main lawyer for MLB, and he was involved in the whole frickin' shady business. That's
how he weaseled his way into the commissioner spot.
That's it. So you wouldn't have to look far. Just look into the whole steroid thing, and you'll find him front and center behind the whole nonsense. Like he's a dirty, shady guy. Trust me.
Yep.
But we can't say that because we could actually get in trouble for that.
You're gonna knock at your door, and I'm gonna get a knock at my door, and Tats.
Let's say potentially. And
let's ask what happens to the last guy.
Could potentially be shady.
Well, you know what? I'll say it. Screw him. Because if I disappear, you'll know that Rob Manfred had something to do with it. I'm willing to take a sacrifice here.
But
trust me, he ain't worth it. Don't go down with that shit. He ain't worth it, bro.
But that is going to wrap things up for us on a Monday night on the Pitchside Chronicles. We appreciate everybody that came and hung out with us on a little shifted schedule on a Monday. You guys are absolutely the best, and your being here is why we continue to do it. Why we made sure to figure out exactly when we can come in today and give you your Monday show. So this one really was just to give you guys some great content. So with that being said, hope everybody did enjoy their holiday weekend.
There's actually some news here, Tats, because we were just talking about umpires. Because I saw Jonathan bring it up a couple of times. Apparently, Angel Hernandez is retired.
He's what?
He's just abruptly retired?
He retired. Bob Nightingale, and it is officially Bob. It is actually his page. Angel Hernandez is retiring.
Like as of immediately?
Immediately. I don't know if it.
Maybe he was forced into it because he's been so bad this year.
Oh, we are going to have to look into this and get. We're going to have to dive into this one.
Good.
We might have to dedicate a whole show to. We might have to dedicate a show to Angel Rodriguez, Angel Hernandez.
I don't even know his name. Like that's how bad he is. But he's.
I'm shocked.
He's retiring Tuesday. Yeah, he retired.
The most stubborn umpire retires in the middle of the season.
Good. No, let good riddance. Enjoy your.
No, I'm not upset about it. I'm just shocked.
Disaster. He was front and center as to why Luis Gil had that one bad start. Basically his entire career. And it was that asshole. Like, get him out of here, please. Thank God. That's good news. That's a great way to end the show. Excellent news.
Yep. All right.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage. Hope everybody did enjoy the show. And as always, hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out with your friends, your family, the stranger on the corner. This is the Pitchside Chronicles. where fans become family. And as I always like to end the show saying, wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.